This is Richard.
Hi, Rich. It's Caleb.
Hey, bud.
Hey, I'm working on the this sauce and accurate guy, and he requested a mortise cylinder from Mul-T-Lock for his trim.
Okay.
And so I've got everything from Mul-T-Lock pulled up, but I'm having a hard time actually locating a part number for a mortise cylinder.
Right on. So I did see that email, and I said to myself, I was going to call you like whenever, yesterday or the day before, like at 4:45, and I thought, let's just wait for Caleb to be in the right spot for this.
Mm-hmm.
So go to the front end, manufacturer's page, and then pull up Mul-T-Lock, their catalog.
Okay.
Then, okay, so pull up you can pull up the 2025 price list.
All right.
And so first of all, the client, I'm sure, has conducted a lot of research on this, seeing how detailed, how beautiful he puts his paperwork together. You're going to want to start with go to the 42nd page of the 2025 price list, and that's going to give you a one-page cut sheet of what you're dealing with. Okay.
Okay.
Then on the 43rd page, you're going to see where you have cut key, the second item, cut key with nylon head, MTL800, blue, white. Okay, so you remember that. Then you're going to go down to the third from the bottom, key order card pre-combinated MTL800. Keep that. So you probably want to write down that page, whatever it is, 42nd page.
Yep, gotcha.
Now for the mortise cylinder, and what did the client tell you that he needed? I mean, what was other than MTL800, was anything else said?
I don't believe so. I think all he said was, let's go with for the cylinder, let's choose Mul-T-Lock. I would need 4 keys. I have some glass exterior doors. I would need cylinders for those. I can get the spec later, he said.
Okay, that's fine. So now go to the 64th page of the catalog. And what we're dealing with there is MOR. That stands for, think of it as for mortise, MOR. The numeral after MOR on that page is the length. So 1 1/8 is probably going to be where you'll fall on that.
Yes, I spoke with Accurate. That's what they recommend for that lock.
Love that. Excellent. Excellent. So you got a mortise cylinder, 1 1/8. So you're dealing with, I would probably be working in the master keyed column.
Okay.
Because he'll probably want some sort of consideration when it comes to keying those cylinders. So I would just bank on that right from the get-go.
Okay. Can I ask you really quick what subassembled means?
Great question. Subassembled, uncombinated, all of these terms mean both of those terms mean when you receive the cylinder, when it's subassembled, it will not have any springs. It will not have any drivers at all. It will have nothing. So why would anyone want a cylinder that's not been combinated? Well, if someone were to ship if I actually, a locksmith, here, I've got my pinning kit, I've got my Mul-T-Lock CNC tool. If I'm going to fulfill a client's order for a cylinder in their system, I don't want it pinned. I don't want any pins. I don't want any springs, because I'm going to fill that. I'm going to combinate that according to the client's requirements, which means I'm going to use the springs and pins out of my kit. And you can see there's a substantial reduction in cost, because all I'm going to do is take all of those pins out and then start from scratch. So, if you're a locksmith and you're keying it into a system, you would want it sub-assembled. It's just a plug in the housing. Okay. Right. So because you're pricing it as master keyed, you're going to be in really good shape. Looking at, so I know that this cylinder, when you order an MOR1, which is an 1 1/8 long cylinder, master keyed, it's going to come with 2 cut keys and a credential card. So the credential card is what you need in order to get keys cut. So if a customer walked in to a locksmith and said, hey, I want you to cut me a copy of this key, and he hands them an MTL800 cut key, the guy's going to say, give me your card. The guy's going to say, well, I don't have that. And he's going to say, well, I can't help you.
Right.
And actually, the card is really required, I understand, to get the key machine turned on. So, we referred to the page 42 where you saw, but don't need to add that because you're going to get one with a cylinder. Then go to the 136th page of the document.
Okay.
Now, you were astute enough to realize, I'm going to need a special cam. Look at your 03 cam.
Clover type. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you didn't do it, so Mul-T-Lock's telling you on an MOR1, you're getting a Yale cam. That is not what you want. You don't want an 02 cam. You want an 03. So let's build a partner. It would be Mortise cylinder. Then it's going to be 609B2. That is the Architectural Builder Supply keyway. We own our own keyway with Mul-T. So 609B2. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a reference back to the 41st page, our 609B2, or the 42nd page, yeah. The keyway, when you look at all of the elements that are happening on the key, that wavy snake trail is impossible, and I have forgotten, and it's only because I have forgotten. It could be the milling in the key blank as well, not the dimples. That's going to be how you combinate it. And that black element at the tip of it, that's called the alpha spring. There are 4 elements on this key. The snake trail, that makes up our 609B2, the particular way that is cut. The milling is number 2, the dimples, and that alpha spring. All of that conspire to make an MTL800. Okay, fine. So now you're at 609B2, and then you're going to be at MOR, I put MOR2, then I go to page 136 page, I go MOR2. Really what they would want would be MOR2 3, but I like to call out the cam by 609B2 by MOR, I'm sorry, I was saying 2. MOR1, you want an 1/8" cylinder, MOR1, by, then on 136th page, PCY-CT-MOR cam 03. That's telling them, use that cam.
Gotcha, okay.
Then it's what I like to put there is the standard key coding system, a LOA call out for how it's combined. Is it keyed different now or keyed random? I mean, Mul-T-Lock doesn't use a LOA, the standard key coding system call outs. So in that spot, I would put by bracket, which is above and left on the keyboard, left bracket, right bracket, and in between those, I would put how it's keyed by 4 cut keys, 4 cut operated by credential card, by what finish do you want. And what's interesting about Mul-T-Lock is they use the last 2 digits of the BHMA standard finish code. So what is this guy doing? Black?
Yes, black for everything.
Okay, so I think that's going to be 19. Oh, God. No, it wouldn't be 19. It would not be 19. Maybe it's 22. What do they call it? It's always my challenge with Mul-T-Lock. I don't know what they're using for the code for black. Okay. EB plugs 05 605 626 EB and NS. Well, in the absence of
like
they use 22.
Page 225 of the price list. 22. Yep, for 622 US 19.
Okay.
Flat.
Okay, so they're using 20. Well, okay, very good. So they're either using 22 or 19. So they're using US 19 or they're using 622. I would think they're using 22. That makes perfect sense. Awesome. By 22 dash Mul-T-Lock. That's your part.
Awesome. Okay, so then it's Mortise cylinder and then our keyway, the 609B2, times our length, which is the 1 for inch and an eighth, times the cam, which is the 03, then the keyed, which will eventually be master keyed, 4-cut operating keys, credential card, and that 22 finish.
Dash multi.
Awesome. Okay, easy enough for that then. Awesome. Okay, yeah, so we've got for this guy all the hinges, the mortise lock, we've got that rockwood pole. Now we'll have this cylinder, and I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything from the guy besides putting also the all the sauce routing bits and guides and whatnot. Apart from that, I don't know that there's anything else he's looking for, or if there's anything else maybe we should offer him.
Well, I did email him once upon a time that major tool for drilling the raceway. Now, so what that could be is it's in the thread. I would put that on there because, you abandon the idea that you feel like you're just being a scuzzy used car salesman. No. You're putting it on there and you're calling out, hey, I have added these parts. They are there for your review and for our discussion. You may or may not need them. But if you have to drill a raceway, this would be a typical tool for drilling a raceway.
Okay.
And that HIT-6 is a drill guide, and it's going to come with a really long drill bit. So when you and Anna ship that HIT-60, Anna knows, there are 2 boxes that have to get shipped. When someone buys a HIT-60, it's a long... Yeah, you remember.
Yeah, I saw it one time. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
So now when it comes to a raceway, that is basically a channel or a drilled hole that's through a door. And it's if the client is having his door manufactured, absolutely that is something that the door manufacturer the client is going to want to have the door manufacturer do because they've got the door in their shop.
Right.
Don't try to drill that hole in the field. Now I've done it, but I'm also a machining ninja. I've done it many, many times. In fact, at the top of the stairs, I have my tool for doing it. I just, because we don't have an active shop where I'm hand prepping doors, I don't have a need to use it. So I would put it on there as a point of discussion because I would also argue that being a professional salesman, you are obligated to bring it to the client's attention. You're not insisting that they buy it, but you are educating your client. That's kind of why they come to you. I know I go to Caleb because the guy is going to make sure I don't forget anything.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I also had another thing that I've been thinking about in regard to the power transfer hinges on this. So Sauce calls them out to be either 4-wire or 6-wire, but there's no differentiating in the part number. So I wonder how would you take a hinge and be able to do 4-wire or 6-wire from just one part number?
So it would be 218 PT by 6-wire. I would be absolutely calling it out directly so that no one could get that screwed.
By 6-wire. Okay.
And then, so concealed, so power transfer hinge, 218 PT by 6-wire by finish-sauce. Oh, well, actually, what you should be doing is power transfer hinge, 218 PT by 6-wire by your fastener package. So what that means is if you've got a wood door and a wood frame, you're fine because Sauce is going to ship that hinge with all wood fasteners. Once in 1,000 times, some client has a steel frame. So you should always be determining the composition of the door and frame so that you call out the fasteners correctly. Then what is irritating is Sauce is going to say, what do you mean AWS, which means all wood screws? It's our industry standard for all wood screws. It's all wood screw. You know what I mean? So calling it out is correct because I guarantee sooner or later in your career, a customer is going to call you on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock and say, I'm here at the job with these 8x8 heavyweight hinges that you sold me 16 of them, and they all are missing half of the correct screws. What do you mean? Well, Hinges come with all machine screws and half wood screws. That's normal. I have wood doors and wood frames, so he doesn't need any of the machine screws, and he's only got half of the wood screws. Now, what I just said to you, I'm not making this up. This was a client who called me on a Saturday morning and couldn't do the job. So you need to call it out.
Okay.
So and when I'm detailing a job like this, and you're just doing a single opening, but you're relishing it because if it's how rich it is in detail, I always have a blank doc, Word doc, Google Sheet, Google Doc, up at the top, notes, 22 font, bold, centered. And I'm just putting my random note, my random thoughts for the client. This is my love letter to the client to say, hey, listen, don't forget about these points. I need to know the composition of the door and frame. Why? Because I want to call out all the fasteners.
Okay.
It's being neat and tidy.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if he called out his frame composition yet.
In this case, I would put in the sauce part number 6 wire by all wood screws by US 19 sauce, and I would put a note to the client on the quote on your little draft and say, hey, I'm assuming that you have a wood door and a wood frame, which is why I'm calling out all wood screws. If that's not the correct type of fastener, please let me know so we can order it correctly. Because when you look in the sauce catalog, you're gonna find where they have got machines.
Right. Okay.
I did a massive door hung on sauce. My goodness, Caleb, it was massive. It was like a 4090 kitty corner from Trump Tower in Manhattan at some high-end retail. It was check this out. It was a 14 gauge hollow metal door, 4090. I don't know the weight per foot of a 14 gauge door. 4 pounds per foot, 4.5 pounds per foot.
Yeah.
4 times 9 is 36. Then on each face of the door, they laminated 12 gauge stainless. Man, I don't know what those sheets weighed.
What would the point of that be?
Have you been to Manhattan?
I think when I was maybe 10, a long time ago.
Well, when you're walking down Fifth Avenue, okay, and you've got the name of department stores that you ain't never heard of because it's so boutique and so couture. These people, they go for the most elegant, high-end design, and this facade, and a facade just, think of it as just at the front of the store, the face of the store, what you're seeing, the facade was such a design element that orbital sanded solid stainless was the look. And this hollow metal door needed to emulate that look. And they laminated 12 gauge. So the point of the matter is we use sauce on all that. This door may have been 900 pounds. I don't recall. We hung that puppy on 4 or 5 sauce. I don't remember what we did, maybe 5, even though 4 would have been the correct number for the height. And you better believe I called out machine screws because you stick a wood screw into a hollow metal door and frame, it ain't going to work. And when you are in Manhattan, a city that truly never sleeps, time is money, baby. There is no Home Depot anywhere in Manhattan that you're going to drive and get the right machine. Right. Yeah, so like I've been trying to tell Terry about the job that he's on now, do not be the point at which the flow is restricted. Do not be that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome, Rich. Well, I'm just about ready to then get this guy over everything. I think I've got all my pricing back now, so I will. I'll get that off to him, and we'll go from there. Awesome.
Then what happens when you get good enough at this? You start charging. You say to people, "I'll detail your openings," but now you're this is paid consultancy.
Right.
So I don't do it often, but I do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year where someone does pay me. I'm not monetizing. You are purchasing from me writing a hardware set. Now, if you want me to quote it, that's separate. But right now, I'm just building a hardware set for you. Anyway, there you go.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Rich.
All right, bud. Bye.
All right, bye.